It is a journey through the Bible on 101.8 Radio Maria, Uganda Mbale, a Christian voice in your home. Subscribe to stay updated with these latest uploads. Comment your thoughts, reflections, or questions. I would love to hear you. Like the video to show your support. Share it with friends, family, or anyone who would be blessed in this message. And your support helps spread the word and grow this community. Let us journey together. Yesterday we saw the time after the exile, and we saw Israel working together with the Nehemiah to see that the house of the Lord, the walls of the temple are constructed, are built. Today we look at the danger from Greek thought and ways of life. Alexander the Great, king of Macedon, conquered the Persian Empire in about 351 BCE. He was a Greek, yes, and whenever he went, he spread Greek ideas and always talked about their way of life. After his death, Palestine was ruled by various countries from 301 to 198. It was ruled by Egyptians. From 198 to about 63 BCE by the Syrians. But throughout this long period, Greek ideas and ways of thought had continued to spread throughout the known world. This presentation was actually a serious danger. It presented a serious danger to Jews, that they also might become like the pagan Greeks. Greek ideas were completely different from Jewish ideas. The Greeks thought that the perfect man was the one who has developed his body by sports and his mind by learning and the arts. For the Jews, the perfect man was the one who worshipped and loved the one true God. For the Greeks, happiness was to be got by man's own efforts. For the Jews, it would be got by confidence in God. The Greeks believed that wisdom consisted in knowing how to live happily on earth with a well-developed body and mind. For the Jews, wisdom consisted in knowing and loving God. Man's greatest treasures, according to the Greeks, were the arts and science. According to the Jews, man's greatest treasure was the law of God and his promises to man, nothing else. Now, these differences in practical things were so great that trouble was sure to come. The question was, would the Jews remain faithful to their religious beliefs or give in and accept the Greek way of thinking and living? These problems and the difficulties, sufferings and resistance which they aroused are dealt with the two books of Maccabees, which so many sects, which so many people say those books are not supposed to be read. Those books were put in the Bible, were written by the Catholic priests. You see how people reason. The problems of these people, how they dealt with them, are found in the two books of Maccabees. During the Egyptian period, that is 301 to 198 BCE, before Common Era, the Jews were allowed to keep their own religion. But about 200 BCE, two groups began to grow in importance in Jerusalem. One group, the rich and powerful families, wanted to accept some of the Greek ideas and of course the ways of living. The second group, that of fervent Jews, wanted above all to keep the full purity of the Jewish religion. And we must remember that for the fervent Jew, religion and daily living could not be separated. It was part and parcel of life. And so to accept Greek thought was to attack religious belief. The Syrian ruler of Palestine at the time, Antiochus Epiphanes, and in about 175 to 164, wanted to force the Greek way of life on the Jews and to end completely the Jewish religion. He began a religious persecution. He took the altar and the candlestick out of the temple and put a statue of the Greek god Zeus in the holy place. He forbade the offering of sacrifices to God. He also would not allow the celebration of the Sabbath or the reading of the law. Remember yesterday we saw how Israel and Nehemiah read this in the hearing of the people, and they accepted, they loved it, they praised God. All the books of the law were collected and burned. Everywhere statues of the false gods were set up, and the people were forced to offer sacrifices to them or else be put to death. Now, during these persecutions, many Jews gave up their faith, but there were also many who preferred martyrdom. Like we read on every 3rd of June when we are at Namugongo, in the book of Maccabees, where we see a woman with a mother with her 7 sons. They were forced to eat swine, to eat pork. You see? Now, by that time, actually, the Jews, it's their tradition that pork is like a taboo. It's not something you talk about. So they were forced. But they said, we shall not eat, but we shall resurrect. You are killing us, but we shall resurrect. So, thank you very much for listening to today's episode. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And that brings us to the end of today. Tomorrow, we shall see the Maccabees keeping the Jewish faith. They said for us, this is what we